It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to the Sunday night live edition of the Mike Prince Show. Of course, we come to you each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our mission is to bring you the latest and the greatest of the world of HBCU sports and beyond. We got a real good show for you on tonight. A lot of things happening throughout the course of the weekend. The NFL brought us back to a sense of normality, at least for 72 hours. Got some news on Jalen Morton and Mr. Jordan Jones. They will have an invite with the Green Bay Packers. Congratulations to them. Special guest tonight, Coach Byron Smith, men's basketball for the Prairie A&M University Panthers, and the new basketball coach for the men's Alcorn State Braves, Landon Bussie, scheduled to be on par with us on tonight. We got a whole lot more in store for you. Hopefully you guys can sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride on tonight. Man, what a weekend. The NFL finally got the draft completed, and I've got to admit, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it appears that I was not alone. 8.2 million viewers, according to the latest rating, up 40%. Now, I could imagine a lot of that would be attributed to people who have been locked inside, and they finally got a taste of some sports. And they said, man, give me my football. And it was good. But I can tell you this, I really like the way everything took off and landed. There was a cooperative group approach with the NFL Network, ESPN, ABC, and the NFL. I thought that was really nice. The webcams all over the place, I think, was nice. You save a ton of money. You still get the effect and a different angle of things, and you're able to do a whole lot. Did your team do what was expected? I'm, I guess, pleased to a degree with what my Steelers did. We did a poll also over the course of the weekend, and 83% of you got it wrong. The question was, who do you think would land a team first between Cam Newton and Jameis Winston? And 83% of you said Cam Newton. Well, according to reports coming out of New Orleans, Jameis Winston will be signing a deal with the New Orleans Saints. He's going to stay within his division. Of course, the backup role to Drew Brees. But wow, any opportunity he gets to stick it to him, I think he's going to lavish in that moment. And what about the Philadelphia Eagles selecting Jalen Hurts after they just gave a boatload of money to Wentz? We know Wentz is almost like a China doll. He's looking to get hurt, it appears. So we'll see how that pans out. Tua ends up with the Dolphins. Will Tua be a better pro than Burrow? Will Jalen be a better pro than Tua and Burrow? We shall see. We shall see. Want to give you a spoiler alert. We'll be hearing from Kadaro Hodge of now the Cleveland Browns talk about life in the NFL and the business side of things. That is going to be extremely entertaining and exciting. We got a lot of other things that we're working on. We are going to take us a break, and we'll come back with our first guest of tonight, Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. You listen to the Mike Prince Show live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it where you got it. We'll be right back.
As a dad, you'll probably spend years teaching your son how to hit a baseball, how to throw a tight spiral and hit a receiver, how to spring off a diving board and hit the water, how to hit a one-wood and a 9-iron, how to hit the bullseye, how to hit the strike zone, hit a jump shot, hit the open man, hit the hockey net, and maybe the most challenging of all, how to hit the books. But the question is this: how much time will you spend teaching him what not to hit? Teach your son early and often that all violence against women is wrong. For tips on what to say, visit endabuse.org. Brought to you by the Family Violence Prevention Fund, the Waite Institute for Violence Prevention, the Ad Council, and this station.
We'd like to take this time to recognize our sponsors and supporters at the Open Mic Broadcast Network: Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Prairie View Athletic Club, Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Diva Skin Conditioner, Helping Hands Lawn Service. Thank you for your support of our local and regional coverage of student athletics here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
what they may normally get in a situation and becoming an assistant coach. So I think all parties involved understand that it could be a little bit different. But again, I'm hopeful that it won't be too big of a cut, too much of a reduction that we have to come down in terms of salary, and we can obviously attract a very qualified candidate to come in and to try to help us continue the success that we've had over the past 3 years. I mean, a lot of people talk about 2 years, but actually it's been 3 years we've had a pretty successful run.
Yes, sir. We're talking with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie A&M University Panthers. I do apologize. We had a minor glitch then while we had you on, Coach. They didn't get a chance to hear me rag on your Cowboys, but I guess we could save that opportunity for later. To bring people up to speed, we're talking about the presence that Landon Bussie had on the program and how he's going to take advantage of a great opportunity ahead of him at Alcorn. Now, we're talking about the potential replacement player, or not player, but coach, and the potential hurdles that would come behind that, and the challenges that we're faced with this COVID experience right now. Now, when we get this thing up to speed, Coach, business is still going to need to be conducted, right?
Absolutely.
And with the business to be conducted, how do you begin to fill that void that Bussie brings?
Well, obviously the lifeline of any program, Mike, you know this as well as everyone involved in this business, is recruiting. So that's going to be the number one box that'll need to be checked with anyone that's going to even be considered, for this position, is how strong are your recruiting ties. And Landon wasn't just a local guy. Landon was on the East Coast. He was on the West Coast. He was in the Midwest, as well as locally. He really had, he evolved as a coach from when he first started with us. I just watched his maturation and his development, and it was really fun to watch and experience. But I would say that obviously he wore a lot of hats in our program, but his strongest hat, obviously, and his strongest suit and his quality and traits, it was recruiting. So that would be the first thing. Obviously, monitoring, academics is a big part of it because, he was the liaison between, the men's staff and our academic, our academic staff and really stayed on the guys and pushed the guys to take care of their academics and had a great connection with all of our players and where they responded in a positive way, to Landon. So the academic piece is going to be big. Obviously the on-campus housing and financial aid. I mean, they knew that Coach could help them get that Pell Grant, get that refund check, a lot quicker than maybe normal because of his relationships with our financial aid department. So he was a guy that wore a lot of hats, but obviously recruiting is the main thing. On floor, his scouting, doing scouting reports, scouting other teams, having a great feel for each and every team that was in our league when it came to conference play. That was second to none. So he did a great job in scouting. So, again, this person, you almost want to take 3 or 4 people, Mike, and that have strong abilities and certain talents and just combine them into one person to be able to fill the shoes of Landon. It won't be easy, but that comes with the territory of being a manager of a program. I have to go out and do the very best I can to bring in the most qualified candidate to kind of pick up what he left off. But I feel very confident, in our abilities. And I'll be honest with you, too, Mike, I think that we've kind of raised the profile quite a bit, at Prairie since we've taken over. So it's a place now that not only young student athletes would like to come and spend 4 or 2 or 1 year, but, young coaches, can see themselves really being able to evolve and benefit and have a chance to come to a really nice place with great facilities and tremendous support and a great place to live. And then come there for a few years and have an opportunity to do what Landon has just done. So I think we're very attractive right now across the board.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, this is a delicate area now. You just made the mention the value and the impact that Bussie had on your recruiting. Was there any type of gentleman's agreement between you and he about any recruits that were already committed to Prairie View that they stay where they are, or is there potential that someone will follow him to Alcorn?
If they're smart, Mike, they'll stay with us at Prairie View. But if they have a temporary moments of insanity and being delusioned, they may follow Landon. No, Mike, that's the one thing that you see this quite a bit. And as long as there's communication between the head coach and that particular coach that is taking another, position, as long as there's a communication about it. And we've gone over every player that he was recruiting, every player that had committed, or signed a national letter of intent. We'd gone over that. And that's something I learned a long time ago. You always try to protect relationships. And that's the one thing that can definitely cause a divide between individuals and coaches and staffs and things of that nature. When you do decide to depart, you always let those student athletes know that you've been recruiting, that, hey, I'm going to take another position. But Prairie View is still Prairie View. I didn't make Prairie View. Landon Bussie didn't make Prairie View. Byron Smith didn't make Prairie View. Prairie View stands on its own merits of over 100+ years in existence. So the institution that I was working for is still a great place for you to go to school. And you always try to encourage the student athlete to honor his commitment or to continue his interest in the institution. But if for some reason, some extenuating circumstances, as long as the head coach and that assistant coach that's taking another position, as I said before, as long as they're in communication and they've discussed it, sometimes it is in the best interest of incoming student athletes to follow that coach that was recruiting him. But we've covered those bases, and I don't foresee any issues or problems. The players that he recruited, they remain committed to Prairie View. I think it was 2 of them, and we got more work to do. But I think he's got his own mind about his own ideas about who he wants to recruit to come to Alcorn. And I know he'll do a great job in that area as he did it for Prairie View.
Yes, sir. And just for FYI purposes, it was 144 years.
Gotcha. Yeah, I knew it was 100 something. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
We're talking right now with Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Now, Coach, from a personal point of view, this is your first branch off the Coach Byron Smith tree. How do you feel personally about this when being 1A in the conference that you're going to be competing for another title in? How good does that make you feel personally?
You know what, Mike? It was kind of funny because, I got more text messages, congratulatory text messages, and even phone calls that Landon did get a position, because I think it's pretty rare in our league. And to my recollection, I think the only person in the last 6-7 years that has had this accomplishment, this blessing, was Donnie Marsh. When he left Texas Southern, he went to Alabama A&M. So it's kind of a rare feat. So it makes me feel really good that I played a part in it. Landon, I look at him as a little brother, because there's obviously an age difference. And I think it's mutual respect and admiration that he feels and shares for me, or feels for me. So I feel really good about it. A lot of coaches are not really interested in coaching trees and things like that. I've never really ever thought about it. I guess I've always really more or less focused on the young men, student athletes, the impact that I've had in their lives. So we can help them go out and be productive citizens and be good husbands and fathers and employees. That's really what I pay more attention to. But obviously, since this has come about, it does make you feel good that you did play a part in helping someone accomplish something and fulfill a dream. Because I think that's got to be every assistant coach's dream that's in this business, is to run their own program and be a leader of their own program at some point in time. So I do feel good about it. And hopefully we can help some of these other guys on our staff. I still think we got an outstanding staff with Wendell Moore, who I think is a young up-and-coming young coach, head coach in making. Spencer Robinson is a young guy who I think got superstar written all over him as it relates to this business. So hopefully we can continue to move this program forward and continue to garner some attention, some national attention. And some of these athletic directors and chancellors and presidents will take notice of these other guys that we have on our staff. And maybe we can do this every other year. I definitely will make me feel good if that could happen.
My final Bussie question, we'll move on. How did the team react to him parting to head to Alcorn?
Bussie, Landon's probably, as much as I probably hate to say it, he's probably our most popular coach. I try to be, Mike, but, the only thing that messes that up is when the game starts and all my popularity kind of goes down the tube.
Well, that means you're doing your job.
Absolutely. The players absolutely love our staff, and obviously everybody's not going to be happy. And, playing time usually dictates, how, their happiness and things of that nature. But I just think in terms of relationships and things like that, he did a great job of connecting. And that's one of the number one jobs of any assistant coach is to connect with the players and kind of have a pulse with the players and kind of knowing what they'll do, habits and tendencies and things like just having a feel. So he was outstanding in that regard. So the players that I've talked to, they were very excited, happy for he and his family, and want to see him do great things because he definitely busted his tail working for this program and really worked hard with these young men on an individual basis, not only athletically but emotionally and academically, the whole nine. He was just totally bought in. So they were very happy to see him have an opportunity to fulfill a dream.
Absolutely. This man worked extremely hard. A lot of people are probably unaware, but he also served on the women's staff at Prairie View as well, and then transitioned over to the men's. And he's been a steady yeoman worker from each position that he's been with the program. We're speaking with Coach Byron Smith, and we're going to kind of fast forward, Coach, to 2020 basketball. I know that everybody is talking about football, but it was basketball that set the table on all of it. So I guess you all are the big dogs on the block, at least for now, huh?
Wow. I'll tell you what, Mike, man, I mean, we are having some great weather in Houston, Texas today, man. Have you had a chance to step outside? Unbelievable, man. The temperature is a gorgeous day.
Well,
what a great day.
I say that.
Mike, the day that the Lord has made. What a great day.
It is the Sabbath. It is the Sabbath. So it's a good answer. But I say that we're doing tongue in cheek. But I say that because the financial windfall that has dried up like instantly, of course, because the March Madness was not able to set itself, and so there is a mad scramble to try to get football to try to bridge that gap because there are a lot of dangers and warning signs. But if you're looking at this thing on a calendar and the projections of when a vaccine would be available, it would coincide with basketball season. And I say all that to say, what are some of the changes that you have to consider as far as travel, as far as scheduling, and how are you putting that together for the 2020 campaign?
Well, obviously with the scheduling piece, Mike, it's always a goal of mine to try to schedule as many games in close proximity to the institution to cut costs, even in a normal year, even if there's no, obviously extenuating circumstance like we're dealing with this year. So I try to play as many local games, as possible. But we can't accomplish that because it just gets a little tricky. Each year that we have success, it's harder and harder to get teams to put us on their schedule. Why that is, I don't know. But the games that we're going after, if we can't get them, closer to the institution, we're trying to go out and we're trying to get the revenue to be up. So what I mean by that is if we're normally looking for, $75,000 game guarantees, we kind of move over and try to get more $85,000 games. So we're just trying to up the revenue in case there is, significant cuts and things like that. And obviously I know we're going to be cut in some areas, hopefully not too much. So that's been the biggest thing, trying to schedule closer games, if not trying to get the revenue up over the normal. So the guaranteed game income will probably be significantly higher this year than it was last year. And that's not anything that the institution has asked me to do. I just feel that that's just in the best interest of our program to be able to do that because we do foresee some cuts coming, but we just don't want our program and our kids to be affected too much by it.
Now, when you speak of cuts, are you at liberty to expound a little bit on what cuts do you foresee coming?
Well, I normally have press ham, Mike, but I think this year I might have to have bologna. So I think it's going to directly affect.
Well, you are in rare form tonight, man.
I don't know if many people know about press ham. I'm an old country boy from Louisiana, so that was like Press Am to us back in those days, Mike, was like we call it a black man steak.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But
especially
anyway,
if you got a chance to fry it.
Exactly, absolutely. You know what? I don't know, Mike, offhand, but you're just reading all these different articles, and you're looking at these pay cuts that these Power 5 head coaches are taking and things like that. And if it gets to that level so quickly, I mean, you think about it, Mike. I mean, all this stuff broke out 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, whatever the case may be, and already it's had a great impact, on institutions that have, $15, $20, $25 million budgets. And it's already affecting them. So obviously, I think everyone's going to be affected in some way. But no, I don't know exactly to put my finger on and say, hey, we're going to have to stop this, not have this, and not have that. We just hope it's just not too severe.
Right. Now, you talk about the old saying, doing more with less. That's one advantage that FCS programs, in particular HBCU programs, you've had to wear the multiple hats. You talked about what all the things your staff are doing to try to keep this thing as balanced as possible. In the larger programs, they had multiple people doing one or two objects. They become marksmen at that, but now they become dead weight. So they have to cut people to where if you cut us, we butt naked out there in the cold, So this is where you become a asset versus a liability. And if you've been one of those that's just walking around with a title, then you're probably on a slippery slope headed right out the door.
Absolutely, and it's just difficult. I mean, everyone that's associated with sports is affected. And you're right. There's cuts and they're dropping teams. Cutting teams and things like that. I mean, obviously not at the Power 5 level yet, but you've seen, some institutions that are not granting the extra year of eligibility. I think Wisconsin in the Big Ten came out and said that they're not going to grant an extra year of eligibility for their seniors and things like that. So everybody's affected. People have, pay cuts, furloughs, terminations. It's just a tough situation, Mike, and I'm sure I probably don't know half of it because I'm sure right now, as we speak, decisions are being made, and more of these situations are going to arise in the coming days, in the coming weeks, coming months. But again, just trying to stay focused on the Panthers and 2021 season. We hope that things will be somewhat close to normal, and we can just go out and have an opportunity to play the great game that we love. And we just pray to God that, at some point in time, that things will get back to some sense of normalcy to where we can start moving forward and start piecing this thing back together again.
Talking live with Byron Smith of the Prairie A&M University Panthers men's basketball program. Back to scheduling real quick, Coach, and we're going to have to let you go out of here. I know we appreciate you, man. You've been such a steady stapler with us on Sundays, and we truly appreciate you. When we talk about scheduling, is it getting to the point now with the way things are going to be laid out in the future that you have to start pressing probably to play more Southland Conference schools and non-conference and possibly eliminate some of the NAIA games that you play at home and kind of trade those out for home and home? Because if you're paying a program of lesser caliber to come in, couldn't you kind of cross that out with playing some home and homes that will give you that regional feel and a better measuring stick?
Absolutely, Mike. You definitely on it. You know your stuff. I have not put any NAI. Normally we've got Jarvis or Houston Tillerson, but I haven't scheduled any of those, either one of those institutions yet. And we do enjoy playing those institutions every year to help us and to help them as well. But I have not put either of them on the schedule yet, just because of what you're talking about, that we may have to slide, may have to cut, and try to get Sam Houston, Tarleton State, who's been reaching out to a lot of people who's interested in a home and home and things like that. So that may very well be a strong possibility that you see that for this season, 2020-21, that we may have to, not play in NAIA and just do a home and home with the Southland, conference schools, and that's very possible. Yes.
What are the likelihood of us seeing Houston Baptist and Prairie play home and homes in basketball?
You know what? I've always thought about that. I know when Coach Rim was the head coach, I know we used to scrimmage Houston Baptist every year, but for some reason, I hadn't been able to interest them in continuing a scrimmage or even a home and home. You know, as you're speaking, I don't know what that is. I don't know if the relationship, if it's a bad relationship, if it's a situation where they don't think that, you know, we would be a worthy opponent. I don't know. I mean, but I definitely will be interested, especially at this point in time. I definitely will be interested in doing something with Houston Baptist. So, Mike, I don't know. Maybe if you have a relationship or know someone over there, or reach out and see if we could do that, because it makes sense. I mean, we could drive our cars over to Houston Baptist.
I can ride it. I can ride in that head coach's car.
You could definitely do that. Yes. Mike, I've got about $250 left on my Uber account, so I think of you so much that I may even spend some of that money on the great Mike Prince and have you an Uber to the front door and back to your front door. How about that?
Well, I tell you what, if you're gonna spend $250, just make a donation to the network, and I'll get that.
I said I had $250 left. I didn't say I was I still got to think about Christmas and things like that for Mama too. So
well, I understand. Look. I know you beat Texas Southern. You got bonuses on that, so you all right. You got some money in your shoe. You be all right.
I hope so, Mike. I hope you're right.
Look, Coach Byron Smith, man, it's always a joy and a pleasure. We're gonna give you some final thoughts and comments before we wrap this segment up, man.
Mike, once again, thank you for the opportunity, man. Your support and your focus on men's basketball, making us a focus, I should say, definitely is appreciated. And you've been there since I've taken over day one, so we really appreciate that. Appreciate the support from Panther Nation. Even in the off season, we get text messages and emails, and everybody's sending us the next great player that can play at Prairie. So keep it coming, Panther Nation. Keep being a recruiter for us. And again, with Landon Bussie, so excited for him. He's a great young man. I think he's going to do great things. I think he's going to be a star in this business. And we just like to, say we appreciate all the support that we get, and I hope that things will get better a lot sooner than later. So, and having said that, hey, as I always say, go Panthers.
All right, man. Thank you very much, Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Wrapping up his Sunday, man, he was in rare form on tonight. We're going to take us a break, and we'll come back. We'll have the new basketball coach for the Alcorn State Braves, Mr. Landon Bussie. You listen to the Mike Prince Show live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, and we will be right back.
Our fans need to come out and support these schools. All of our SWAC fans, because attendance is down. So all of our fans have got to come out. We got to support our schools. We got to support our own. It's a message to all the alumnus. Support your schools.
Be the one with courage to fight child abuse.
All Texans must find the courage to fight child abuse.
Learn the signs and symptoms and report suspected abuse to appropriate authorities.
Learn and know these warning signs.
A child who undergoes changes in behavior, appetite, or routine.
Watch for unexplained injuries, a change in academic performance, or loss of interest by a child in regular activities.
Trust your instincts. If you suspect something, do something.
If you believe a child is in an abusive situation, please call the Texas Abuse Hotline at 1-800-252-5400.
Be the one with courage. To find your local Children's Advocacy Center, visit onewithcourage.org.
On behalf of children, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Drivers and bicyclists both have the right to be on the road and travel safely. And when we're on the road together, safety is a shared responsibility. State law requires drivers to maintain at least 3 feet of clearance when passing bicyclists. And bicyclists should always ride with the direction of traffic and follow all traffic signals. It's safer. It's courteous. It's the law. A message from the Regional Planning Commission Pedestrian and Bicycle Program.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday Night Live edition of the Mike Prince Show. We come to you each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And don't forget, we got another shows in store. The Carlos Brown Show, Sonia Stamp, She Say Sports, and Brandon B.J. Jones with the Barbershop. But right now, somebody probably got them a fresh cut so they can get their Zoom interview and debut in and welcome on the reservation. And we're going to get a chance to have as they say, an exit interview with none other than Coach Landon Bussie. Landon, welcome to the show, my man. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Well, look at me. You sounding all smooth, collected, and cavalier. Congratulations, man.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate the opportunity. So I'm grateful.
Well, look, bring us up to speed on when. I know it happened fast. I spoke to you, but you said, Mike, it's happening so fast. When did you get on the radar, and how did this thing come to be?
I think I got on the radar a little bit after the transition was made and the job was open. I was able to get a radar, and the athletic director reached out to my former boss, Coach Smith, and I think it just went from there. And then later on that day, or a few days later, I think he reached out to me. We had a great conversation, and from there, it just took on.
Absolutely. Now, with everything happening and you having to do all these Zoom interviews, and did it seem surreal that this was actually happening, or did it seem like it was just I can't believe this is happening, somebody's pulling my leg?
It's definitely like a shock, but when it's a shock, you definitely business moves so fast, you don't have time to really think about that is this a dream or not. You're just trying to, do whatever you could do to, secure the job and, try to put your best foot forward and, present yourself, as best as possible. And hopefully, God bless you with opportunity.
So we know that we're in the middle of this pandemic and all the social distancing and everything. Have you had a chance to reach out to any of the players that you've inherited and the staff, if anything, and some of the administrative team? And if so, how's that conversation been?
Oh, yes. I reached out to, all the guys who were I recruited and all the guys that played on the team this year. And I reached out, the staff was aware about, what my transition was going on. And, with the administration, they've been reaching out to me slowly but surely. And I'll probably, send an email to everyone, within the next upcoming days. But, most of the administration are aware. I've been receiving a lot of good text messages, and, a lot of, congratulations and things like that. And a lot of support from, PV alum and PV athletics and, the student body. So I think, everyone's just excited, and happy for me.
Okay. Now, have you had a chance to speak with the Alcorn players yet?
Oh, yes, definitely. I spoke to them the same day that it was announced. Spoke to all of them on Zoom just to, introduce myself to them and let them know my expectations and, let them know the goals moving forward.
And with that being said, you've been an assistant on the campus of Prairie View from both the men and women's side of things. And, you have your assistants and some have come and gone. And you get to talking amongst yourselves, man, if I ever get a chance, this is how I would do it. This is how I would do it. With the first one out of the gate, what would you want the signature to be of a Landon Bussie-led coach basketball team?
I think I want the signature to be, most importantly, a relationship-built program to where as though, the student athletes are able to come talk to me when, something is going wrong and, a relationship to where as though they trust me in a situation that, I'll be there for them. And I think that will, translate over onto the court to where as though I'll be able to trust them, as far as, them doing what they need to do and being what they need to be on the court. And they'll trust me that, I'm doing my best, to lead this program moving forward. Also, one of the main things, I want this program to be built off of toughness. That's on and off the court. And the reason why I say off the court is, sometimes you might have a brutal practice at, 5:30 a.m. You got an 8 o'clock class. But you got to be tough enough to, go push through that 8 o'clock class and, be present and have some sense of urgency and be alert and, still manage to get through that class and, learn what you need to learn. And on toughness on the court is, starts with on the defensive end. And just want to make sure that, our guys are, being tough and, through practice and, through weights and, whatever the case may be. So I think everything is going to be built off of, relationship and, trust and, pretty much toughness.
Now, when you speak about the toughness part and the signature of the expectations of a coach Landon Bussie led team, what would be the prototypical player to fit your system, and what type of system do you foresee being developed now that you're the head man?
I think that, I'm definitely going to, take some of the philosophy that, Coach Smith has taught me the past few years, just about, how a program should be ran and things of that nature. So when I say a typical player, I mean, the player is definitely going to have to, be hungry and motivated, and willing to be successful in the classroom and on the court, and know how to carry that stuff off the court. Typically, you definitely want to get guys who are more so dedicated to having a sense of urgency on the defensive end, to where as though, and the offense will take care of itself. Most importantly, thing is, a kid who, you can, trust as far as, being dedicated and loyal to the program and to the coaching staff. And, they want the best thing for the team. So, I think it's a lot of combination, a lot of traits that will be built up into the type of player that I'm looking for. But I think that, if you can find a student athlete who is, selfless and, dedicated, to the program, and, they're willing to work hard every day, in the classroom and on the court, I think that, everything else will take care of itself.
We're speaking right now live with Coach Landon Bussie of the Alcorn State Braves. I almost said Prairie just a second ago, but of the Alcorn State Braves. And he is going to be the head man on the reservation. You'll be in the good hands of Tall Man Radio, Brother Charles Edmond. And also wanted to talk to you about with the recruiting and then some of the makeup of scheduling games. You're coming in running, and I'm pretty sure you hadn't even had a chance to even look over that just yet.
I think we got a pretty good schedule. I think we take a Alcorn swing. I'm sorry, not an Alcorn swing. We take a West Coast swing, and we also take different swings that building up the schedule for non-conference. And I think we got a pretty much tough schedule. I'm not really sure as far as what schools we're going to exactly. There is a coach on staff working on the schedule, and I haven't had a chance to really look at it yet, just based off of the transition and based off of, making sure, I do the trainings and, orientation and talking to, players who are on the team, talking to PSAs that already signed, and also doing a little recruiting myself to, make sure that I'm bringing in some quality players that can help us, get this thing turned around immediately. So I really don't have an idea of, who we're really going to play yet, but I am aware we are going to take a West Coast swing.
Okay, and with that being said, you made a mention of staff. Have you had an opportunity to at least put on paper who you'd like to see on your staff?
Well, first and foremost, I'm going to, interview the assistant coach that's already on staff.
Okay.
And try to get to know them and, build a relationship with them and, talk to them and see what their expectations and see what their philosophy of coaching and see what they can bring to the table. And then I will make the decision best fits for the program moving forward. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is, pretty much just, narrow down, options. But I want to give them the respect first and interview them and talk to them, see, what they feel about everything and see how they feel and, to give them the chance as far as interviewing and sharing to me, their beliefs and their philosophy. And then after that, I'm going to do what's best for the program.
Absolutely. We're speaking again with Coach Landon Bussie of the Alcorn State Braves. Now, Coach, you've been wearing a lot of hats for a few years now. How challenging is that going to be for you to take off some of them hats and pass them down?
I think it's going to be challenging, but I don't want to lose, my commitment and lose my where I'm looking for. I don't want to just lose my integrity to, you know, work hard and things like that. So I'm still going to be around campus. I'm still going to be active, still going to be, you know, have a lot of energy and things like that. You know, I'm just going to, you know, try to teach, you know, the coaches as far as, you know, how I like things and, you know, let them, you know, lead their area as best as possible. But like, I'll still be engaged in a lot of different areas to make sure that, you know, I'm not, you know, being, you know, getting to a lazy way or anything like that. I'm going to make sure that I'm still engaged and active and being on top of things to make sure this program is going down the right direction.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, are you in Mississippi now, or are you still in Texas?
No, I'm still in Texas as of now.
Okay, and when do you plan to head toward the reservation?
Probably, you know, within the next few weeks. You know, I just wanted to, you know, with this virus is going on, it was a little tough for me to get down there, and it was a little tough for me to find somewhere to stay. So the first thing I'll probably do is just go down there and see if I can find some place to stay and, you know, try to, you know, sign the lease. And then, you know, hopefully I can sign a lease that, you know, will let me move in within the next few weeks. If that's able to happen, I'm going to move down there immediately. Okay.
Well, look, if you can't find a place, tell Charles Edmond I said take care of you.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And look, I want to first tell you, man, thank you for your years of service at Prairie View. You've been a loyal, faithful member, and good things do come to those who do good things. And we're extremely proud of you, and proud to say that I know you as a man and as a coach. And I expect you to do well. And I already told you, and I'm going to say it again, there are only 2 times I expect you to stumble. And that's when you play my beloved Panthers. But I think you're going to do a fantastic job. And if you don't mind, can you share with us, what term did you get? Not the financial payout, but what term as far as years are concerned on your contract?
Right now it's a 3-year contract.
Okay. 3-year contract. Well, I think that's enough time for you to go in there and work your magic, man. And we do wish you nothing but success. Landon, we have a custom here that will allow our guests to have some final thoughts and comments, and the floor is now yours, sir.
You asking me, do I have any questions?
Any final comments? And
all that I have is, you know, I just appreciate the opportunity that was presented to me, you know, at Prairie View. And I appreciate the support, the love that I was able to get the past few days from administration, the coaching staff, the alumni, the student body, former players, current players, you know, just everybody. I think that, you know, with Coach Smith allowed me the opportunity, you know, and trusted in me to, you know, help him as far as making decisions and, you know, help him and assisting him in leading the program. I think that, you know, with his trust in me prepared me for this opportunity, and I'm grateful for it and grateful for what he has done for me. So, you know, like I said, I just, you know, I got a lot of love for Prairie View, and, you know, when we come back, you know, down here and we play Prairie View, hopefully, you know, it's going to be an interesting game, and, you know, hopefully, you know, the fans enjoy it.
Well, yeah, you know, we're going to enjoy it with a win. Now, I'm not telling you to tank the games. I'm not telling you that, but we want you to come out here in one piece, man. And like I say, you have success all up and down the SWAC, but not at home. Man, look, we appreciate you, love you, man. Wish you nothing but success, and we'll be talking to you real soon, okay, my man?
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, Coach Landon Bussie, new basketball coach for the Alcorn State Braves. Good to hear from him. We're going to take us a break, and we'll be right back with more of tonight's show here with the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it where you got it. We'll be right back.
The birth of legends are storied in this conference. We must never forget our rich history. We now turn our gaze to the future. The new legends will emerge. New heroes to arise. The Southwestern Athletic Conference. Be our history.
Hello, this is Lonzo Hardy Jr., President of the SWAC Alumni Association. The SWAC Alumni Association is an organization founded on December 10, 1999, at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama. Its mission is to serve as a rallying ground for individuals who have made the Southwestern Athletic Conference the illustrious conference that it is today. Its membership is open to former student athletes who have played in the conference in any sport, as well as to coaches, athletic administrators, staff members, game officials, and fans. Annually, the association holds a Legends Awards and Roast Banquet or Luncheon, where it honors individuals with Lifetime Achievement Awards, a Chuck Crossett Wagon Master Award, and occasionally a Distinguished Service Award. Proceeds from that event help to finance degree completion scholarships for student athletes who have exhausted their playing eligibility at SWAC universities, but who may still need an extra semester or two to complete their college studies. For more information on the SWAC Alumni Association or to get information on becoming a member, you can send correspondence to SWAC Alumni Association, 875 Miller Creek Lane, Newport News, Virginia, 23602. The email address is swacalumniassociation@yahoo.com.
We'd like to take this time to recognize our sponsors and supporters at the Open Mic Broadcast Network: Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union, Temple of Refuge Ministries, Prairie View Athletic Club, Attorney Lee Van Richardson, Diva Skin Conditioner, Helping Hands Lawn Service. Thank you for your support of our local and regional coverage of student athletics here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show. We're in our final segment. Man, time truly flies when you're having fun. We want to thank Landon Bussie, the new man on the reservation at Alcorn State. I think he's going to do a fine job. We want to thank Coach Byron Smith. He joined in with us. Reminding you guys that you guys can catch up with us Monday through Friday right here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We come to you live on Sunday nights. We have Carlos Brown. I got confused. Carlos Brown comes on at 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturdays. She Say Sports, Sonia Stamps comes on Fridays. BJ Jones, we come in with the barbershop on Sundays. We have Rob Butler with the Southland Report and a whole lot of other things that are going on as we get wrapped up. Hopefully basketball season will be on course and it won't be, as they say, throwing things off. Can't say the same for football right now, but we just have to kind of wait and see. We talked about the draft earlier and how things were going, but when it comes to high school and college, I still think we're a little ways off. Power 5, we're going to try to do something, but FCS, we're just going to have to hunker down and try to make the most out of a bad situation. We do want to give congratulations to Jalen Morton and Jordan Jones. Got the call from the Green Bay Packers by way of free agency, and we'll see how that works out. We'll be hearing from NFL wide receiver Kadaro Hodge later on throughout the course of the week. We'll hear from Brian Hicks, athletic director of the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, and a whole lot more in store for you. Want to remind you guys that we do come to you each and every day right here. And we cannot move without your support. All you have to do is visit our website at obnradio.com. There's a PayPal button hanging around there. You can click on that PayPal button, make a donation of whatever amount you see fit that you could afford. We do know it's tight on everybody, but every little bit helps. And if you're one of those who are conventional and you would like to send in a check or money order, you can send it to Open Mic Broadcast Network, OPEN, capital MIC, Broadcast Network, and you can send it to P.O. Box 891, Prairie View, Texas, 77446. We told you about the poll that we ran where you guys got it wrong. You thought that Cam Newton was going to have a home before Jameis Winston, and that was not the case. We would like you guys to help us with our HBCU report. If you know of any HBCU ball player, whether it's SWAC or MEAC, they got an extension to an NFL team, would you send it to our 24-hour message line so we can make sure we report on it accurately? That number is 713-570-6736. You can save that number. It's a 24-hour access, and you can call with updates, comments, questions, concerns, and information about what's going on to help us spread the word. We don't claim to know everything, but the things we do know, we do know. That number, 713-570-6736, and leave that message on the message line, and you'll be a part of helping us continue to carry out our daily missions. We are about to run out of time for today because it's just like that. Time truly flies when you're having fun. And with that being said, I got to make sure that we have everything queued up just the way we need it so everybody will understand that it's time for us to exit stage left. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, thanking our guests again for being a part of our show, Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, Mr. Landon Bussie of the Alcorn State Braves, and we thank you, the listeners, for joining in with us, and can't do it without you. Cannot do it without, I'm not going to even try to do it without you. Don't forget, we're scheduled for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning if the creek don't rise and the Lord delays is coming. We'll do it all over again. My time is far spent, and I've got to go. But until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.